Hello YouTubes, welcome back to the new N-scale layout. On the last video we got the outer loop done, the dedicated freight line. Today we're going to get the inner high-speed loops done, and thanks to Kevin's Tiny Trains, we can do that because he sent the final bit of track I needed. So this is the new section of track in question. Before we had that, we had two single lines going round. So it was going from double to two singles back to double, and it just looked a bit goofy. So now we have a continual double track all the way around. And as you can see, I've added the risers. Now they're not exactly fixed down yet because we have to test it first, right? And we also have to wire it all up. I can't test it without power. We'll get to that in a wee second. There was other things I had to take care of. If you notice, the subway line comes along here and it kind of goes right underneath this track, so we had to make a bit of a tunnel. Which'll do for now. Whittle? Yes, which will do for now. Gets the job done until we decide on actual scenery, which we've not even scratched the surface of. The subway obviously has to be low. This is going to be hills, not hills, buildings, city, but are they going to be raised? Or is it all going to be down low with big tall buildings? Who knows? This section over here, I will probably raise this up. Otherwise everything's away down in a big hole. So I'll probably raise it up to about there, across to there. Might even make it a wee bit hilly. Got a whole section here. Don't know what to do with. There's a slight rise there, going from this point up to that point, so we could do a slopey thing there, or who knows. Really, I've not even thought about the scenics yet. Okay, getting back to the wiring. I have actually attached all my power feeders and all my switch control wires, drilled holes, so everything is a dangling down below. I have 3 sets of power feeders here. I should probably tape them together in pairs so I know which is which. So that is going to the power there, there and there, which is ideal because everything is going to be powered going into the rail yard. And just to make sure, we also have power feeders, let's see, there for the main outer loop, power feeders there and there. So either side of the rail yard has got power, so everything should work fine. I'll get into more detail about how the power system works, but the first thing I have to do is route some wiring. Now, I'm not going to make a whole video about wiring a model railway, okay? I don't want to give out bad information, basically. So I will get all the wires hooked up to over there, routed over to the control panel, here, control panel, and I will meet you back at the control panel where we're going to plug everything in, right? Because I do have a challenge I want to hopefully achieve by the end of this video. That is all my rail power feeders and switch feeders going in down under the layout, and the same over here. Doesn't that look nice? Don't worry, I'll cover that up. I might even improve it. As you can see, expertly labelled SW3, T1, T3. Don't worry, I'll explain what that all means when we get to the control panel, but there is something I want to explain before we do the final wiring up. For those that don't know, these are remotely operated turnouts. Press a wee button over there and it'll flick this little switch here and do that. They are also power routing switches, which means the power only flows on the 2 rails on the direction that the points are set. Okay? So at the moment, points are set to go straight, so the power is only going to go along there. It's not going down there. And in fact, there is no power in any of the tracks down there. No wired feeders at all, right? So that means we are relying on the power which is connected there to go up here, or flick the switch, the power then goes down there, which means that is now isolated. That one doesn't have power. And it's the same at the other end. So let's take a little trip, shall we? So we have set our switch to go in there. Now we're still going straight. If this switch was set to there, then the power is now going that way, and that line would be dead, okay? Continue our journey to the next switch, which is currently set to that one being live, okay? So it would take us there. That one would be dead. Let's continue straight. So now we're going straight. This one's dead, this one's dead. This is the only one with power, but that is only going to work if we do the same with the switches at that side. So that switch there needs to be connected electronically to that switch there. That switch there has to be connected to that one there, and the same with that one up there. Has to be connected obviously to the first one. So they have to switch together. So when that one goes closed or open or whatever that term is, when that one switches like that, the one away over there is going to be connected to it, and they're both going to be in the same position. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's get to the control panel. Now, for those of a nervous disposition, you may want to look away now. You have been warned. Behold, Spaghettiville. One day I might tidy it up. I like to do it this way first to make sure everything works and it's easy to find, especially when I've got this professional marking done. Let's start way over here. As you can see, I have logically marked my control panels. So that's number 1, that's number 3, and that's number 2. Okay, so this is temporary. Number 2 is temporary. Number 3 is actually going to get moved along there, and I'm getting another black one just like that, which is going to slot in there, and that's going to be number 2, okay? Hopefully that will make sense when we get there. Right, let's start logically at control panel 1, which is T1, okay? So we need to connect that to the existing power, because we've already got power to one side. So we need to find the wires going to the track, which is these two here, okay? So what we need to do is we need to replace these 2-channel connectors with 3-channel connectors, because we're now going to combine 3 sets of wires instead of 2. Pretty easy to do. Remove these ones. Actually, we'll do one at a time, just so we don't lose track of where the wires are, okay? So these are 1 wire coming from the power, 1 wire going to the track. So we want 2 wires going to the track. So instead of the 2-junction clip, we'll use a 3-junction clip, right? So that's 1 wire there going to the track. We'll find the white wire from T1, track 1 we're going to call it. Closest to me is 1, 2, and then 3 is the way I'm doing this. So I need to strip these back a little bit. Okay, we're going to put the white wire. So that's 2 white wires going to 2 separate areas of the track. So now we need the power coming from the controller, which goes in the 3rd slot there. Okay, so that's the white wires taken care of. 1 wire in, power coming in, 2 wires going to 2 separate parts of the track. So we need to do the same with the blue, which is this one. Remove this clip. Replace this with a 111, like this. 1 blue in there. Our new blue from the other one that we just routed in there. And the power coming from the controller. In there. Cool, so now we've just doubled the amount of feeders going to that first track, track number 1. I'll get the other 2 sets of wires coming in from the other feeders wired up to the other controllers, then I'll bring you back when we're doing the switch wiring, which I've done mostly of, so that's going to be fairly quick. Welcome back to the horror show. Doesn't look any better. Right, I've got all these turnout plugs all hooked up to the right place. That one I'm just going to leave in. That was the original one I did for the main loop to go on to the, well, everywhere else. So I'll just leave that. I know that works. So this is my crossover. I'm going to put that, mark it as X. Next up, we're looking for switch 1, which is the one that says switch 1 somewhere. This one here, I'll put that in number 1. Next up, I know it says number 2, but I'm not actually going to put switch number 2 on that because it wouldn't actually make sense. I'll show you when we get up top why I'm not going to do it that way. So instead, I'm going to put switch 2 into number 3 and switch 3 into number 2. So this is switch 3 into number 2. Switch 1. This is really going to confuse me further down the line, isn't it? But hopefully I will be using it enough that I'll understand. Right, let's flick some switches, see if anything works. So that's my original one. Let's listen for a click. Yep, I can hear a click. Crossover, double crossover. We've got clicks. Turnout number 1 takes us into the 3 tracks of the yard. Yep. Oh, goodness. I don't think you can do these too fast or they heat up or something because it's working now. It's working now, right. Switch 2, which is actually switch 3. I've got clicks, and switch 3, which is actually switch 2. Right, everything seems to be working. I was watching it as I was going. Right, let's move this up so that we can actually see it properly and get up to the top and see if a train goes round. Okay, here is the challenge. I want to get this little chap from this track all the way over to that track, but he has to do a full loop on every other track before he gets there. So let's just make sure our first switch we're going to be using is over there to take him onto that track, but that will be switch number, that one there. Okay, so when I flick that, this one will move, but the other 2 over, because these 2 are moving, right? But those 2 over there are also moving. So he will be moving over to that track, and then as soon as he gets there, I need to flick this back again. And it's the same with the double crossover, otherwise he'll just come back on himself. So make sure that's working, see how it looks. I like how all 4 of them go at once, it's very cool. Right, let us start our challenge. I have kind of speed matched my controllers. We've only got 3. Outside loop, and yes, that's in the wrong place at the moment. And that's that loop. And that controller will control power on all 4 of them. Let's get started, shall we? Switches are set in the wrong place. Right, we are good to start. Right, we'll do a full loop in this one. Going to take it up to speed 75, I believe it's going to be best for all of them to work properly. Right, let's follow. I will get the first switch done. Okay, so he is going to come round that bend and go onto that line, okay? Well, at least that's the plan. And then as soon as he does that, I need to flick the switch so that he doesn't come back onto the same line again, like he just did there. These switches are pernickety. Oh, it came unplugged. Oh, yeah. These things, that needs to be jammed right in there. This thing here, there must be a better system. It should work now. Okay, let's try that again. So you should come in, flick that. Right, you should stay in that lane this time, okay? On the next lap, we're going to be using the double crossover. Which is this one here. So I need to flick that one over. And again, he'll be coming round there. When he goes over the double crossover, I need to flick it back so that he doesn't just look back on himself. Oh, well, there he goes. Right, so I flick the double crossover so it's straight again. Next lap, he's going to be coming down the most inner track. Where are we? Yeah, he's going to be coming around the inner one. So I'm going to flick switch number 1 because I'm going to call that the inside one I'm going to call number 1 and work my way out. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's not glued down yet. Yeah, so he made it round there successfully. So while that switch is down, I'm going to flick number 2 down, and this time he's going to end up in this track. At least that's the plan, if he ever gets here. Alright, so he's coming in, first exit, yes, and back out again. Okay, and finally, just realised I messed up my challenge, but hey, we still got 12 tracks, as long as he gets to 3, which is actually that track there. So this time when he comes in, he'll be taking the first fork. He'll come in here, take the first fork, and back onto the main line. Oh, okay, it's very confusing, but I think I'll eventually understand how it works. I will try and reconfigure these switches so that it makes a bit more sense. Because we can't just choose, like if they're all up, we can't just say, I want them to go into track 3 because he needs track 1 in order to get into the yard. So there must be a better way to map it. The main thing is, it works. The power seems constant. The switches are all working. Oh, fantastic. Wow, that looks really complex from up here. I don't even have the subway tracks running. Well, apologies if I melted anyone's brain. I know mine's melted. I need to figure out a better system for the numbering so I know exactly what button to press to make it go somewhere. Because having switch 1 up here, but that's track 1 and that's 2 and that's it, that doesn't make sense. I need to sort that out. Okay, next video. I've got some parts of the track I need to take care of. Obviously nothing is glued down, even the risers aren't glued down. I just wanted to make sure it all worked, and it does, obviously. So I will be working on sticking stuff down, and also I've got 2 bridges to take care of. I need to make one, well, I've 3D printed one, but I need to glue it all together. So that's going to be a separate video as well. So maybe the next video I'll just have 5 trains running around at once in all sorts of directions. It'll be total chaos. You might have seen that in the live stream, but this is going to be different because I'm going to have things parked and there's going to be bullet trains racing between them and stuff. It's going to be epic. Well, in my head it's epic. Okay, we're getting there. As quick as I would have hoped. Possibly quicker, but I think it's working out fine. Right, enough waffle. Thanks very much. I'll see you very soon. I need to get back at this right now. It's a great wee train. And he wasn't that expensive. Bye.